Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for my own personal Lexus SC 430. As you can see here, this car's now covered 64,000 miles. The car, just a very brief background to the vehicle, it's had just one registered keeper from new who's had it serviced, I think from memory, 13 times at Lexus Canterbury, and only Lexus Canterbury. I mean, it is a quite astonishingly looked after vehicle, and it is in absolutely beautiful condition throughout. There's a couple of light marks which I'm going to show you on the car, but they are absolutely minuscule. Bear in mind we're looking at a car now that's 14 years old. I'll go around the car. I do it a little bit more slowly than I do on most of my other videos, just because of the age and value of the car itself. Lights, lenses, completely intact, no cracks, condensation or anything on there at all. Just come around the bumper for you. Apart from a couple of dead flies that's reluctant to move, the bumper is pretty much unmarked. Can't see anything on there at all. Likewise, bonnet of the car, it's very hard to find a single stone chip. I think there was a couple of really tiny ones, but it's an original bonnet. It's not been sprayed. In fact, there's just a tiny little one there, hopefully you can see, but really speaking, it is in fantastic condition. Come down the near side of the car, as I always do. I kind of squat down here just to show you the panel work, but the panel work is absolutely mirror smooth. There's not an indentation, dent, soft dent or anything on there at all. Front wing, again, hopefully you can see, absolutely no marks on there whatsoever. So to come to the first mark, if you want to put it on the car, alloy, I love this style of alloy, look fantastic. So this alloy, all of them completely original. Hopefully you can see you've got just a bit of curbing. Obviously near side alloy always takes the curbing. They're completely original. I'm not doing anything about them. They're absolutely as they should be for the age and miles of the car, but they are on there. The rest of the panel work down here really is in beautiful condition, this vehicle. I'm going to keep saying that, I've got this horrible feeling. There we are, try and think of something different to say. Rear alloy, absolutely unmarked. Can't see any marks on the that alloy whatsoever. And then I come around the back of the vehicle, again just squat down on the corner just to show you the panel work again. It really is absolutely pristine down the side there. And again, come around the back of the vehicle itself, all incredibly clean. Sorry, I just got a bit of dirty water on there, get that off there for you. So I've literally just washed the car this morning. I've not done anything to it, I haven't polished it, just I'm using this car on a daily basis, so hence the miles are creeping up, albeit very slowly indeed. Top of the bonnet, boot lid rather, again absolutely unmarked. I will put the roof down and show you it with the roof down as well, so you get a different view of the vehicle. I think it's a fabulous looking car. It really is so unique. These, definitely attaining modern classic status now. And then just go down the offside here, again, completely blemish free. There's no marks, scrapes or otherwise on that vehicle, on that side of the car at all. Rear wing, is completely unmarked. Rear alloy, absolutely without any marks or curbing at all on there. And then come down the panel work here. It really is in glorious condition. And then finally, front alloy, apart from a bit of brake dust on there, completely unmarked. So we're looking at a car, apart from one alloy with the tiniest bit of curbing on it, which is in quite extraordinary and completely original condition. So as promised, just a quick walk around the vehicle with the roof down. I'll show you the roof in operation as well. Works absolutely perfectly. It does change the look and dynamics of the vehicle quite substantially. So I nearly fell over going down a little bank there. It's a glorious looking vehicle. I love the colour combination. I waited ages and ages and ages, years in fact, after my last one to find one in this colour combination, and it's pretty much the perfect colour combination in my opinion. I mean, these are things based on opinion rather than fact, I guess, but it's what I wanted. So to the interior of the car now. Near side door card is absolutely as new. It's wonderful, wonderful colour combination. I've not, literally again, apart from just the lightest hoover this morning to get some dead leaves out, I've not valeted the vehicle excessively. I keep the car lovely. It came to me in absolutely beautiful condition. Leatherwork is absolutely stunning. Obviously got some full set, as you'd imagine, of Lexus overmats. They look absolutely as new, probably because the gentleman had old mats covering them previously, which just goes to show just how well he's kept this vehicle. So the driver's side door card, again as with the other, just looks in absolutely brand new condition. It is almost ludicrous. It's so good. Footwell area, again, all absolutely spot on. Driver's seat, electrical adjustments, all exactly as they should be. And the seat itself, simply cannot fault. I'll just quickly go to the back there. I mean, obviously it's called a 2+2, but really, I mean, I did put the front passenger seat forward, put my child in the back there once, but it's not the most comfortable place unless you're absolutely minuscule. So inside the car, I'm just going to pan around the dashboard for you, but in all honesty, it genuinely looks almost as if it's brand new sat inside the car. It is not just clean, but it's completely fresh in the plastics, the leatherwork. You can't, I suppose you could if you sort of spent hours and days scrubbing and cleaning, making a shoddy one look nice, but it would never look as original as this. This is absolutely wonderful. As you probably know, on these you can close these and have a kind of a full wood finish on the dashboard itself if you so wish. Obviously you can see there clearly the sat nav's working absolutely perfectly, but press a button there, and then it covers it over completely, and you end up with this wonderful, wonderful interior in absolutely beautiful condition. Coming across the main dashboard itself, just to pan in there for you, you can see 64,512 videos, 12 miles, thinking ahead. This video was actually done a month or two after I did the road test video that comes after this one, so the mileage shows lower on the road test, but that was done before I did this video, so that will explain that hopefully to you. As I said, I'm pointing out that the mileage I'm doing is very, very low. I'm not doing many miles at all, so it's not adding any great mileage to the vehicle. But it is absolutely in stunning condition. It genuinely is. So while I'm sat in the car here now, I'm just going to quickly show you the roof in operation, just to show it obviously works exactly as it should, which clearly it does. It's an absolute work of art, going up and down in all honesty. And that's it, all working exactly as it should. Sorry for the shaky hand, let's try and do two things at once. So finally into the boot area now, all again in absolutely wonderful, wonderful condition. Beautifully upholstered and finished, these cars. Build quality is second to none. This is real world build quality, and it is an astonishingly well made car. Just to let you know that this cover here has to be in situ, just got to rest into these areas here. Otherwise the electric roof won't operate because it will think there's something in the boot. But you just pop that back there and then it releases the remainder of the boot for you. But everything's intact, exactly as it should be. Coming under here, we've got the full array of original tools and equipment and inflation there for you as well, but all in
as with the rest of the car, in fantastic condition.
Just worth pointing out again, as the advert states, this is my own personal vehicle. Obviously we use Auto Trader as a company to sell our cars, and there's no way I'm going to give them any more money than the thousands I already give them to advertise my own personal vehicle. So do be aware of that. I am transparent about these things. My company will provide a 3-month warranty separately on the vehicle, on the major mechanicals on the car, but that is separate from the purchase of the vehicle. What will follow now, hopefully, will be a road test of this very car. Right, this is a quick road test of car registered GD03KWT. It's a Lexus SC 430. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 63,883 miles. The reason we do the road test, as I say in all of them, basically is that we want customers to see the cars in operation prior to coming to see us. That way, if there's any issues with the vehicle, we can relay those back to you, and we do so. But also, the fact that we know, as everyone does now, that people are willing to travel much further afield to go and look at cars, and it can be hugely frustrating when you go there and there's a fundamental fault with the car which you should have been told about. Road test is also done on the same roads outside our premises, very close to our business, so it should be representative of what you should feel yourself if you come to see the car, and obviously if you're interested in buying it, then a test drive is offered. This car is quite an exceptional vehicle. It's my own personal car. I handpicked this one. As you'll know from having read the advert, it isn't the cheapest SC430 in the country, but is it the best? Possibly, I don't know. All I know is, in terms of ownership, condition, drive, it's almost impossible to fault. The ownership and maintenance of the car is quite astonishing. Just one gentleman has owned the car from new. He's had it serviced exclusively at Lexus all the way through its life, and you can feel that the very second you jump inside the car and drive the car. The engine starts absolutely instantly. Is typical of this brilliant V8. It's a really wonderful engine. Smooth, tons of power, and a refinement that beggars belief. I mean, it really is quite an amazing piece of engineering. No warning lights on the dashboard, of course. Engine's at full operating temperature now, which is just under half on the temperature gauge in these Lexus cars. But the engine is, with just such a low mileage, you'd expect it to be perfect, and it certainly is. It's absolutely wonderful. Engine feeds through into the automatic gearbox, typical Lexus gearbox, of course. Silky smooth in its gear changes. There's no slack in it, there's no thumps, bangs. Again, because such a low mileage, you're not going to expect to have those, but there aren't any. There's nothing present at all on the car. So more of that in due course. But in terms of looking for issues with the vehicle, then there's nothing on those items which you need to worry yourself about in any way, shape, or form. Driving the vehicle with brakes, it's lovely solid brake pedal. It's it pulls up dead straight and true. There's absolutely no pulsing or vibration coming back through the brakes at speed, which would suggest that brake discs were in anything other than very good order. They're absolutely fine. The brakes have got a lovely, well judged brake feel to it. Nicely modulated. They're not grabby. They're not over servoed, which I absolutely loathe and despise. Steering of the vehicle tracks bullet straight. No vibrations coming back to the steering of the car. Absolutely no wear in it whatsoever. Likewise, suspension of the vehicle, again you'll hear it going over bumps, and quite rightly so, but what I'm not getting any of is those horrible sort of secondary sort of chatterings from underneath, which you get on sort of used cars, even low mileage ones over the years. You get things like anti-roll bar links, drop links, and rubber bushes and suspension struts. They get a bit of wear in them. and it just makes the car feel old. You know, this is a 14-year-old car. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like a car that's a couple of years old. It's got that tightness, tautness to it, which comes from, you know, the very best engineered car in the world. I mean, it really, really is. You know, it's very quiet. And there's, you know, what wind intrusion is minimal, and what's meant to be there. It's got, you know, little door seals all that seem in very good order. The roof makes no noise at all. There's no squeaks or rattles inside the vehicle, you know, which is astonishing for a car of its age. It really is. But everything works exactly as it should. You know, the air conditioning pumps out lovely cold air. Stereo works beautifully, and it is a truly brilliant stereo in these cars. Obviously, Mark Levinson in them. You know, but it's all just brilliantly laid out, really simple and easy to operate. So I'll just put my foot down to get away from the lorry behind. But it's just, you know, it's kind of going back in time, but without going that far back. You know, it's got a, you know, I don't know, there's just a really unique interior in here. I said everything works exactly as it should. Just pop open the sat nav for you there. That's all working exactly as it should. I said if you want to hide all the displays, just press the buttons there, and you can have it obviously with its full effect. Now, you know, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Before I had this car and the one before, because I've had two of them now, I was always put off the car because I'd read all the road reports. You know, all the bashing it received for the motoring press. And yet, ironically, as all good things in life, it's proved them all wrong. It is a wonderfully comfortable cruiser. It's not a sports car. It never was a sports car. It's an effortless, you know, premium quality is banded around the whole time by manufacturers claiming their cars are well built, and they go on. No, this genuinely is premium quality. You don't have build quality like this, reliability like this from other manufacturers. You know, you've got, I don't know what BMW to compare it to, or what Mercedes, probably an SL, I guess. They're all nice cars. They're fine cars in their own right, but they're not as well built as these things. I mean, this is just ridiculous, really, to jump in this car and for it to feel as it feels. You know, it's you can clearly see they didn't cut any corners in the build quality of it. I love the interior of it. I think it's you know, the Japanese are accused of having no soul, no style, and yet here we are. I'm sat in the car which has absolutely got it in spades. It's a far nicer place to sit than virtually any of its competitors of its time. It's interesting. It's got lovely sort of colourings inside. It's got nice texturing. The seats are brilliantly comfortable, absolutely brilliantly comfortable, and it's got all the gadgets you need, and it's got none of the gadgets you don't need. That's what I love about it as well. But as I said, everything works exactly as it should. It, you know, really does. But coming back to, you know, probably my favourite part of the car, apart from sitting in it and looking at it, which I can do all day. You know, this engine really is a quite astonishing unit. You know, it's ideal for just cruising along like this. You could imagine being kind of on a coastal road in the, you know, south of Europe or south of France somewhere, just taking in kind of the scenery. Roof down, warm Mediterranean air flowing in, or you can be barreling up the M25, you know, and it's as capable at both, and it really is just, you know, but the engine sort of is the heart of it. It's what gives it its character. It's so civilized, it's so sweet in nature. It just doesn't grate at all, and it's got literally all the power you'll ever need. So if you shove your foot down, it absolutely flies. But that's not really what the car's about. You this is much more for doing what I love doing. I'm only doing a handful of miles every day, which is why it's absolutely ideal for me. But the miles I do in it, I absolutely and thoroughly enjoy and look forward to spending time in the car. It's just ridiculous how it's up to the legal limit in the blink of an eye, and with just no noise. It's quite an amazing car. I mean, the video's here to pick up on any issues with the car. I haven't got any. I've had nothing at all. It's just been typical of Lexus ownership for me. Every button that I've pressed has worked exactly as it's intended to. And as you'll know from the previous walk-around video, the condition of the vehicle, I mean, it is an extraordinary car. I have to point out, and I don't do this to be awkward in any way, should you be interested in coming to see the car and buying the car, at that point a test drive will be offered just to establish that the car drives as it should. I will not be putting the car on the road on test drives to see if you want to buy one of these types of cars. I'd recommend going to a Lexus dealer if they've got one, having a drive of the car just to make sure it's what you're after. This is my baby, my car, and whoever is genuinely, and I mean it quite sincerely, whoever's lucky enough to be the next owner of this car will be buying one of the very finest cars you'll ever buy. It's wonderful. Now, if I've missed anything on the video, please don't hesitate, give me a call and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about the car.